Prairie Wings presents At the Line.
Today we're going to work on Dichi. Now this doesn't replace a full swim by program, but what it will allow you to do is to teach your dog to stay in the water, take a straight line on marks and blinds, and it's going to help them recover more birds. All right. What we're also going to do is we're going to go through all three very, very different type personality dogs and show you how to deal and train each one of them. We have Yellow on the far left. Now Yellow makes it real easy on me as a trainer because she loves to retrieve so much that you can get away with a lot of mistakes, all right? You can put some pressure on her. You can scream at her a little bit. You can do whatever you need to do. She almost always is going to bounce back immediately and be ready to go again. Preacher's a little bit different. Preacher loves to retrieve. He's just not quite as hard driving as Yellow, okay? So he's in the middle. He's probably right where most dogs are. Behind me is Gia. Now she's the toughest dog to train by far, and the reason she's tough is because she loves to retrieve as much as the rest of them, except she wants to do it on her terms. So what we've got to do is we got to use our head a little bit. We can't always use a conventional approach like you may see in videos or in books. We've got to think a little bit, and we train her with a lot of pom-poms. In other words, we're going to do a lot of cheerleading. We're going to use positive reinforcement, where with the others, we're going to use positive, but we can also use some negative reinforcement. We'll get through this thing. We're going to start with Yellow, show you how to do that. We're going to go with Preacher, show you how we work with a dog like Preacher, and then Gia, who will be the toughest, and you'll see a lot more positive reinforcement as opposed to using the e-collar or any negative reinforcement. Let's get started. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to throw three distinct marks. Cold water retrieve is going to be right in the middle. It's not a cheaty mark. Then we're going to move it over a little bit, kind of cut the difference between the bank and the first cold water mark we threw. We're going to call that our warm water retrieve. Now we got to take into consideration what we expect the dog to do before we can make the correction. Then, last but not least, we're going to throw our hot water retrieve, which is going to be a very cheaty type mark. It's going to entice the dog to take the bank, and that's where we're going to get the opportunity to make the most corrections, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I've got my e-collar on. I know exactly what my dog works at, okay? This is a dog with 3,500, and she works between a 30 and a 35 on this collar. So that's where I like to put it. She's in good shape. I'm going to tweet, continuous pressure, and then I'm going to handle because she's advanced. She understands what I'm expecting from her in this drill. It's going to be different with the other dogs. So we'll go through there, and then we'll see how she does on each of them. First, let's throw our cold water retrieve. Now, we got to get our good obedience. Sit. I've got my crop here. If I have any movement at all, I'm ready to make a correction, okay? Sit. Now, if I have a dog who has a tendency to creep, what I might do even before is use a little preventive maintenance. Sit, okay? So I come in here, watch, okay? Sit. There's my cold water mark. Yellow. So we get through this. This is not going to be an issue, but what we're doing right now is we're erring on the side of the dog. What we're doing is we're giving them every advantage to let them know exactly what we're looking for. So we throw that first cold water mark to really get them used to telling them, hey, we're looking for you to stay in the water here. We're going to move it over on the next one. This is what I would expect all dogs to do. This is nothing fancy. This is just an oval-shaped pond, very easy to find. Almost every cattle farm in the country's got one. Parks have them. They're everywhere, so easy to find. Good girl. Come in here, baby. All right. Good. Here. Sit. Good. Shake. Good. All right, now here's our warm water retrieve. Sit. Yellow. So right now, because we're a little tighter to the bank, I'm going to have my e-collar ready, okay? I know exactly what my plan's going to be. If she decides to cheat at all or gets a little cheaty, then I'll know how to handle it. Remember, with Yellow, I'm going to stop her, make a correction, and handle. Here. Very good. Good. All right, so now we've done our cold water, we've done our warm water. Now we're going to make our hot water mark, okay? We got to be ready because the dog may not only cheat on the way back, which is what we probably expect them to do, they might cheat on the way. So what are we going to do? We got to know in advance because things happen very quickly. So we got to know exactly what we're going to do. What I'm going to do with Yellow, because of her personality, because of the advanced training that she's had, is I would stop her and use pressure and handle, okay? Pressure and handle. So here we go. Let's see how she does. Here, sit, watch. Yellow. Oftentimes when you're doing this drill, you can pick out a target, like say this little brush right here. And I'm wanting the dog to be overly honest. In other words, stay in the water a lot, because once we get that collar off, once the guns start blazing, everything's going to be picked up a notch, and sometimes it's easy for them to forget their training in that scenario. So I'm ready. All right, so we did good. She thought about it though. Did you see that? She thought about it a little bit. She's trying hard, she's giving good effort, and that's what we're looking for here. Nothing but good effort, so there's no reason to apply any pressure. She's trying hard. You see she's even staying in a little bit longer and coming out about where she went in. So that's good. She's in good shape. Here, sit. Now, let's say for instance that you have a dog who's an advanced type dog, and you're in test or trials or maybe even in hunting scenarios, they really start to cheat. Then what you've got to do is you've got to set them up. You've got to entice them. Okay, so what we've got to do is we're going to come in here like this in that scenario, and we make it even tighter, okay? Make this thing even hotter. Here, sit. We just scallop the water, okay? Yellow. Okay, if you'll notice, she's being overly honest. She's being really good. She's trying hard. She understands the drill. She knows exactly what we're doing. So we just use this as a tune-up for a dog like that. We just go in there and we do it a few times a month, maybe every now and then, to keep them honest. Sit. It'll help your dog get more birds. That's all you got to do.